Welcome to day 107. Today I want to talk about becoming debt-free. And I want to tell you about my journey about becoming debt-free. Now, when I was younger, I wanted things. I remember when I was 16 years old, I talked my mother into helping me to get a brand new car. I didn't have any money, so I had to borrow money to buy a brand new car. Now, this was back in 1974, a long time ago. Back then, I found a car that I wanted to buy. It was brand new, and it was only $3,775. So it was really pretty inexpensive, especially compared to the prices of cars today. But I didn't have any money. But the payment on it was only going to be around $120 a month. And I felt like I could easily make that payment. So my mom said no, she didn't think it was a good idea that I buy a brand new car. I had a used car that was paid for, and I had no payments on, that was dependable, ran good, and I wish I had that car today because, of course, that car would be a classic. It was a 1964 Chevrolet Impala station wagon, so it was boxy, it was a cool car. But I wanted a brand new car because some of my friends had brand new cars and most of my friends didn't, and I thought, if I get a brand new car, wow, that'll be awesome. So I put pressure on my mother to co-sign a loan so I could get a brand new car. Finally, after all the pressure and all the guilt and all the shame and everything I could do to manipulate my mom into co-signing a loan for a brand new car, she agreed to do it. So I had 36 months of payments at $120-something a month. I had no cash because I needed to use every penny I could to make sure I made the car payment on time. And about 2 weeks after I got my car, I took it down to the car wash to wash it. And as I was rinsing it off, I put the hose back into the holder. I got in the car and I put it in reverse. And when I did, I ripped the mirror off the passenger side of the car. Now, I didn't have any money. I didn't have any cash. And back then we didn't use credit cards like we did. And so I didn't have the money to fix my brand new car, and I drove around for 6 months without fixing that. Now, it didn't cost a lot of money to fix it, but at the time it seemed like a lot of money, and I didn't have the money, and there weren't credit cards. It was over $300. For 6 months, I drove my brand new car around with the mirror ripped off. It is said that if we borrow money, we become a slave to the lender. And I remember several times not being able to make the payment on that car because I didn't have the money. And so then I went to my mom again because she'd co-signed. And if I didn't make the loan payment, it would affect her credit in a negative way. So one of my goals when I turned 26 years old was to be totally debt-free. I had signs in my house that said debt-free. And I had a mission to be in debt-free, but I had credit cards and I had needs, and I was not living debt-free. This month, March, I have become totally debt-free. I don't owe any money on anything. I don't owe money on my car. I don't owe money on credit cards. I don't owe money on my house. Everything is paid for. Now, I had to be very disciplined and I had to change a lot of things in order to become totally debt-free. But I am not a slave to lenders today. I made a plan to get out of debt. Now, one of the books that I highly recommend if you want to live debt-free is Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace. Now, there's some things in Dave Ramsey's book that I totally agree with, and there's some things in the book I don't agree with. I do use a credit card, but I pay the balance off every month. Today, our society is so much into credit cards that it's very difficult not to use a credit card. I use a credit card for gasoline purchases so I don't have to go inside, and I use a credit card for some of my charges that I do on the internet. Now, I do carry cash. I cash a check every Monday, and I use that cash for purchases. Because when I spend cash on something, it's more real. If you use a credit card, you don't really experience it. So I know when I go to Panera Bread and I buy my coffee, I pay with cash. I don't use a credit card. Plus, if you use a credit card, it's going to cost the merchant more money to be able to serve the coffee to you, so they're going to raise their prices. I pay cash. When I go into McDonald's, I pay cash. Whenever I can, I pay cash. So only thing I put on credit cards are my charges that I have on the internet and my gas purchases and other major things that will go outside the budget of the cash that I have on me. But I pay that bill off every month. Now, if you want to be wealthy, you've got to use the law of compounding in a positive way. Now, get rich quick schemes, they work for some people, they didn't work for me. So what I did was I made a concentrated effort. I have a plan, I have a system in order to become financially successful. How did I pay off my house? I made more than the minimum payment every month. I made 2 payments, 3 payments. When I got an extra $1,000, I put it towards paying off the house. I made it a concentrated effort not to have any debt. Now, the loan that I just paid off at Quail Creek Bank, that was an investment. I had purchased a house and I had financed it over 3 years ago. That house is now totally paid for. I own houses in Oklahoma City, and those houses are like golden geese. They're like a geese that lays a golden egg every month because the houses are paid for. We have some expenses with the houses. Obviously, we have to pay insurance and we have to pay taxes on the houses and we have to maintain them. But the money that comes in from the rent, the majority of it is net profit. Plus the government gives me a depreciation, an annual depreciation on the value of the house, so that helps me on my taxes. So what I did was I had some cash, probably 10 years ago. I had enough cash to buy a house with cash and no financing. Right now, so I took that money and I bought a house. And the income that came in from that house, I saved up until I had enough money to buy another house. And I continue to use the law of compounding, and the money that comes in from my real estate, I save it until I have enough money to buy another house. Now that I've paid off the last loan, I'll be saving money to buy another house. And I should be able to buy another house this year. So using the law of compounding over a period of time, John Maxwell says, we overestimate how much work we can get done in a day, and we underestimate how much work we can get done in a long period of time. One of the things that I'm doing is I do push-ups every day. Every day I do 250 push-ups before I leave my house in the morning. By doing that, I do over 87,000 push-ups in a year. Now, 250 push-ups in a day is a pretty good exercise, and it's just helping me to have positive self-esteem. It's helping me to be strong. It helps me to have great energy. I feel better about myself because I'm doing that kind of exercise. But doing it over a long period of time, like a year, 87,000 push-ups. Could you do 87,000 push-ups? Of course you could, if you do 250 push-ups a day. Now I know that 250 times 365 is a lot more than 87,500 push-ups. That's cool. Some days I miss, and I don't beat myself up when I miss. Winners take action. I want to live debt-free. I want to live within my values. My number 1 priority is my relationship with God. My number 2 priority in life is my health. My number 3 is my family. Number 4 is business and money. And number 5 is entertainment. Those are my 5 top priorities. I recommend that you determine what your 5 top priorities are. Look at where you're spending your time. Look at the kind of material, education material that you're reading in order to be successful in your 5 top priority areas. Winners definitely take action. And the last thing I want to share is the more I give, the more I live. And if I can help you, my phone number is down below in the comments section. You just give me a call, and I'll be happy to share with you my experiences on how I've been able to get to where I am in my life today. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.